out why students have so much difficulty incorporating the distributive property into expressions and equations when asked. My argument is that distributive property is multiplication in disguise, but students are never given the opportunity to really make the connection of why that is. Let's try that now. If you haven't done so yet, please like and follow, hit the subscribe button, follow me for more help with algebra, fractions, decimals, percentages. I have a lot of videos, I have a lot more coming. I appreciate all your support. Now let's get back to talking about distributive property. So this shows 4 times 3 plus 5. And the standard way of showing it is to say, well, we distribute the 4 across the 3 and the 5. That works. But most kids will say, well, Mr. Berg, why don't we just do 4 times 8, get 32 and be done with it? That's a good question, and there's no reason why you shouldn't do that. So why then distributive property? So now we have this algebraic expression, which says 4 times x plus 3. This is a good time to understand that you can't combine the x and the 3 because we don't know what the x is, and so it's a variable. And if you haven't worked yet with having kids explore why you can't combine a variable with a constant, you should go back and work on that first with your child, because it has to make sense why you can't just say x plus 3 is the same thing as 3x. And I'll make a quick video about that, but this is not true. It's true for one number, but it's not true the same way that we think about it being true. Okay, anyway, so this could also be thought, as we've talked about in my other video with distributive property, this is repeated addition, as all multiplication is. I think it benefits students to think about this as x plus 3 4 times. They could write it vertically, they could write it horizontally, but the key is that they literally see the 4 x's and they see the 3 4 times. It just sort of burns into their brain better. Drawing this is helpful, of course, but it doesn't always make immediate sense and stick for the long term. When they think about repeated addition, and then they make the connection later to just doing that as an easier task, that might benefit the kid. I've jumped to this type of distributive property problem because a lot of kids also struggle with the idea that this minus sign is somehow distributed across both terms inside. They need to think about this logically and read the entire thing as 5 minus this group of x plus 3. So a lot of times we tell kids to put a 1 in front of it and multiply the negative sign by both parts, but why wouldn't we just explain or think about how we're subtracting everything inside of here, which is distributive property, but it would look like 5 minus the x term and 5 minus the 3. I just described the distributing part, distributing the minus sign to both parts of the term, so you have 5 minus x minus 3. And with all of these problems, your best bet to get kids to see the reality of it is to make sure they spend time at the end to substitute real numbers to check and see if the two expressions are actually equal. Because also a lot of kids don't really think about the fact that what they're doing when they're manipulating expressions is recreating the same expression. It's equal, but it just looks different. It's like changing its clothes. And so they also need to think about this regularly so that it sticks.